Hello, sports fans. Welcome back for this year's Titan Sports. I'm Colin Costigan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sergio Gonzalez.
What's up, guys? This is Adam Garcia. We're here to get the ball rolling to provide you with your weekly sporting updates. Welcome to Titan Sports.
The winless Los Angeles Rams managed to win their first game this season against the San Francisco 49ers last Sunday afternoon. With their two top receivers, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, missing, the Rams fell behind the 49ers by 14 points in the second half. However, that all changed when Kyren Williams managed to rush 4 yards to score his third touchdown of the day with 1:51 remaining. To top it all off, place kicker Joshua Carty hit a 37-yard field goal with 2 seconds left to complete the dramatic rally by Los Angeles, outscoring San Francisco 20-3 in the final 19 minutes. The Rams made their biggest second-half comeback victory since 2006, while making their second straight win over the 49ers after losing 9 of the previous 10 meetings of the NFC West.
New Zealand golfer Lydia Ko won the Kroger Queen Championship for her third LPGA Tour title when she turned a 2-shot deficit into a rout by closing with a 9 under 63. This is Ko's third win out of all her 4 starts. The other 2 include the Olympic gold medal, which gave her enough points for the LPGA Hall of Fame, and the Women's British Open at St. Andrews, where she faces off Gino Titicul, who closed with a 70. Finishing at 23 under 265, Ko now has 22 career LPGA victories, plus a victory at the season opener in Florida. According to U.S. News, Ko said, quote, "I had the most unbelievable 3 weeks in Europe, and now after having another 3 weeks off here, I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be like," end quote. Ko is now heading to South Korea to play in the Hana Financial Group Championship next week, where there will be a chance for Ko to reach 30 career titles worldwide.
Kicking things into high gear, the highly anticipated 2024 Singapore Grand Prix is just days away. The race is one of the most exciting events in the Formula One calendar. After its establishment in 2008, the Singapore Grand Prix has since been recognized for its unique night race format and challenging street circuit, making it a Grand Prix that F1 fans from all over the world eagerly await. Often described as being the toughest race of the F1 calendar, the 3-mile-long circuit has a mix of tight turns, elevation changes, and high humidity tests that limits of both drivers and teams. Ahead of the event, weather did seem to be a concern, with the weekend event expecting to experience rain, thunderstorms, and a light to moderate southerly wind amidst the humid climate the 3-day event offers fans of a variety of entertainment featuring live performances alongside the Formula One practice sessions and the high-stakes qualifying rounds.
In Singapore Grand Prix qualifying, McLaren's Lando Norris secured pole position with a strong lap time, beating out Red Bull's Max Verstappen, setting him up for a solid race and earning him the qualifying time of 1:29.525 seconds, dominating the race. Mercedes also performed well, with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell starting 3rd and 4th. Meanwhile, Ferrari's Carlos Sainz crashed, ending his session early and earning a €25,000 fine for dangerous contact after attempting to cross the active track to get back to the pits. Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo both struggled in the race as well, ending with disappointing grid positions that have since raised concerns about their future performances and contributions to the Red Bull team.
Knocking it out of the park this season is Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Otani. In Thursday's game against the Miami Marlins, the designated hitter from Oshu, Japan, exhibited an historic display of talent and determination, making history as the first player in Major League Baseball to achieve a 50 home run and 50 stolen bases this season. The feat came after Otani rounded the bases in the 9th inning on Thursday. The hit was the 3rd home run that he batted that night, additionally stealing 2 bases, leading him to set another record as he also made history as the first player to hit 3 home runs and steal 2 bases in a single game. Shattering another record, Otani also set a Dodgers record with 10 RBIs. The previous record holder was right fielder Shawn Green, who made a franchise record of 49 home runs when he played for the Dodgers in 2001. For Otani, the Marlins' Lone Depot ballpark holds significance, as this is where he struck out former Los Angeles Angels teammate Mike Trout to secure Japan's victory over the United States in the championship of the 2023 World Baseball Classic. In a post-game interview with ESPN, Otani said, quote, "I've had perhaps the most memorable moments here in my career, and this stadium has become one of my favorite stadiums," end quote. The play made Thursday night power the Los Angeles Dodgers to playoff clinching victory that was 20-4. This marks the Dodgers' 12th straight season in the postseason, setting a new franchise record, certainly striving for MVP this season. Otani will continue to do his historic career and has proven himself to be valuable to the Dodgers team and worth the $700 million trade deal.
In other professional baseball news, Minor League Baseball has announced the 2024 Single-A All-Star teams, featuring some names Cal State Fullerton might find familiar. The list includes former Titans Caden Connor, JoJo Ingracia, and Nate Nankill. Caden Connor, 24 years old, was assigned to college workout in June of last year and has since been drafted in the 19th round by the Chicago White Sox. Playing as an infielder, he showcased his versatility during the 2023 season with the Kannapolis Cannonballers, appearing in 78 games. As of July, Connor has been assigned to Winston-Salem Dash. In his minor league career, he currently has a recorded batting average of .285 with an on-base percentage of .368.
JoJo Ingracia, a 22-year-old from El Cajon, California, first assigned to the San Diego Aztecs back in 2022. Ingracia was signed by the Boston Red Sox in July of last year as the 14th round draft pick before moving along to FCL Red Sox before ultimately joining the Salem Red Sox in April 2024. So far, he has an earned run average of 1.85 and 93 strikeouts. Nate Nankill, 21 years old, signed with the Oakland Athletics last July as a 7th round draft pick before being assigned to the Stockton Ports in April. Months later, in July, Nankill joined the High A Lansing Lugnuts. So far, Nankill has gone on to have 20 doubles and a .290 average on top of 11 home runs. As they advance through the minor leagues, Connor, Ingracia, and Nankill showcased the talent that Cal State Fullerton continues to produce.
Cal State Fullerton's men's soccer is making a breakaway towards the NCAA Division I rankings after a hard-fought win, defeating the number 15 ranked University of San Diego with a score of 2-0, giving the Toreros their first loss of the season. Thanks to the Titans turning the momentum around in the second half with goals by junior defenseman Jalen Belong in the 64th minute and senior forward Eric Serrano in the 79th minute, this was Cal State Fullerton's second win against the two top 25 ranked teams in 3-week span as the Titans defeated number 6 ranked at the time UCLA 3-1 early this season and now 15 ranked San Diego. Currently, men's soccer has a record of 3 wins, 3 losses, and 3 ties. Hopefully, the Titans can end the preseason on a high note as they travel to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, to play the Rebels on Thursday, September 26th at 6:30 p.m., and then prepare for a Big West play at UC Irvine on October the 2nd.
All right, stay tuned for our roundtable discussion coming up right after the break. All right, so I'd like to begin starting, of course, by my San Francisco 49ers, unfortunately losing to the Los Angeles Rams. I know you guys are happy about the result of that game. Great games from Purdy and Stafford. Purdy went 22 for 30, 292 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. Juwan Jennings had a career game with 11 receptions, 175 yards, catching all of Purdy's touchdown passes. Of course, Stafford went 16 of 25, 221 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then, of course, Kyron Williams in the backfield. He had 89 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, one of them to tie the game late. Really, it was a tale of two halves, of course, of the Rams coming back late in the fourth quarter. Both teams right now are sitting at 1-2, obviously not where they would like to be. What do you think they need to improve on to help improve their record?
I mean, for the 49ers, I mean, you have a big lead coming into the second half, and you need to have that killer mentality of finishing the game off strong, and they just lack that at the moment. I don't know if it's leadership problems. I know Christian McCaffrey's not playing at the moment, and you just need the veterans to bring up the motivation when they have a big lead, because you never know. The Rams, they did win a championship a couple years ago. They have that championship mentality. Sean McVay has that mentality. And I feel like for them, they got to push the pedal even more. Just keep going with your offense. And I know you're suffering from the loss of Aaron Donald, but you can't focus on that anymore. It's the past. Just look forward, and you just have to play your game.
I agree. I think the Rams need to focus on that scrappy mentality, especially now that they're down Nakua and Kupp for what sounds to be like a few weeks. And hopefully they can step it up. I know their defense definitely has a new look. They have new defensive ends in Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. Obviously, with the loss of Aaron Donald, it's tough, and they definitely got to step it up, and they have. I saw that those two lead all rookies in quarterback pressures throughout the first 3 weeks, and hopefully they can fill that void of Aaron Donald, and this past week was definitely promising in that end.
Yeah, and I think for both teams, it is kind of a similar issue with both just needing to rely on their players. Of course, I'm upset at Ronnie Bell. I think that that was an inexcusable miss. He had 3 targets in the game, all 3 drops. The Niners had a total of 6 drop passes in that game. So at least as a Niner fan, I'm feeling great about Purdy, because the big critique was that he couldn't win or play well without his weapons, which obviously he proved. I think in my mind, I believe he had proved that wrong. And then obviously, I'm not surprised by Stafford. He's always finding players late. That's always been his thing. He's always had that clutch gene. That's why, like you mentioned, you can never let off the gas. And I think Shanahan has a thing. He likes to kind of play a little bit too conservatively when he has a lead. Obviously, 10-point lead seems to kind of be his kryptonite. So I think looking forward for the Niners, they just need to, obviously they're banged up just like the Rams are. So no surprises that both teams are really 1-2. So I think from them, it's just going to take on just trusting your team, because they have a new defensive coordinator in Sorensen this year. It's going to be interesting, and I think for the Rams as well, I think they just need to continue relying on their players. They saw Kyron Williams and Tutu Atwell. People forget about them sometimes, but I think they showed why they're a valuable member of the team. All right, now moving on to somebody who's very valuable to their team. Shohei Otani just recently became the first player in MLB history to join the 50-50 club. Really a player of his caliber, no doubt that he would really make some form of history. But did you think that it was going to be this type of history?
I think I believed it. I wanted to believe it, and it's coming to fruition. You know, I had a discussion with someone the other day of, wow, he's going to win MVP. For sure he's going to win MVP. But just as a reminder, Marte, who plays for the Diamondbacks, 35 home runs, 93 RBIs, batting .294. You have Lindor, 31 home runs, 86 RBIs, batting .271. And Ozuna, 39 home runs and 102 RBIs. I mean, those are MVPs in any other year. But you have Otani with 53 home runs, 125 RBIs, and batting .303, and the stolen bases of 56 now. So it's an unlucky year for these players that are really good in the National League. And yes, I did expect this, and I'm happy that it's happening.
And I think they're going to be even more unlucky when he starts pitching. The fact that he's doing it off of a Tommy John rehab is just absurd. Even the stolen bases, I believe his highest number with the Angels was around like the mid-20s. Now that he has 56 with 60 attempts as well, the efficiency is absurd. And I mean, with Otani, you can't have any expectations. They're going to completely blow through. He's just an unreal player.
Yep, and I think after that first homer he had against the Giants, because, he had a little bit of a slow start, a little uncharacteristic for him. I think he was just trying to settle in. Once he knew he was accepted by this fan base and knew that he was a part of a winning culture, he just took off from there. Now, real quick from you guys, right now he's currently at 53 homers and 56 stolen bases. 4 games left in the season. What is he ending with? I can give you my predictions right now. I think it's going to be 55 homers and 60 stolen bases.
I feel like he may want to get to where Judge is, so maybe try to get 57 homers. I know there's not many games, but you never know. He did score 3.
It is Coors Field, though.
Yes, it is Coors Field. Yes. So, and try to get maybe 3 more stolen bases.
I'm going to say he's going to finish with 56 and 58.
Okay.
I know he has Coors coming up, 3-game set there, and then the one last game at Dodger Stadium tonight. His bat has been unreal. I saw he's 18 for his last 29 in his last 7 games. I don't think he's going to let up in Coors Field. So hopefully he can get a few more out there.
Yep. And speaking of baseball stars, Cal State Fullerton has their own players in the minor leagues right now. They're all thriving in Single A with Caden Connor, Ingracia, and Nankill. Of course, I believe Connor's stats last year, or in the 2023 season, he was batting .330 with 5 homers, 45 RBIs. Ingracia had I believe he had a 2.42 ERA, 51 strikeouts, and only 44 2/3 inning pitch. And then Nankill had I believe he had a 3.16 average, 5 homers, and 39 RBIs. And then we also mentioned their stats earlier as well in Single A. I think it just kind of shows the success that Fullerton has kind of had and that they're continuing to produce. And even though last year was kind of a little bit of a letdown year, it was not what we expected, it still shows the talent that they can produce. Now, speaking of these players, they're currently all playing in high A right now. How soon do you think it's going to be until they reach that double or even triple A?
I mean, the legacy of Cal State Fullerton bringing up these players, it's fantastic. You know, you've always had these players coming up. For them, I believe they're going to go to double A very soon. And that level right there is going to be hard for them to try to surpass that. And we're going to see if they can make it during double A. Double A is a very just grueling season, and you have to try to really hit from these pitchers. And these pitchers have to really have their accuracy in the right frame, because you never know. These hitters are so good now, and I'm just happy with how we've developed players. And let's see if they become the next Justin Turner, Kurt Suzuki, and Chris Davinsky. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I really do hope so. Our program has an excellent reputation of developing MLB talent and over 300 MLB draftees. I know there was 3 this past year, so it will be exciting to see what they do this upcoming year. Double A is definitely going to be a test for them. I think that's probably the toughest level of minor leagues. I do think, though, that they all have the capability, and Gracia has been excellent. I mean, this past season, he, I believe, let me take a look. He led the Carolina League, which was the minor league that he was in strikeouts per 9 and strikeout percentage of 39.6, which is insanely productive no matter the level. Obviously, high A is still pretty competitive, but I do believe they're going to be pretty well.
Yeah, and I like that you guys both mentioned how double A, a lot of people think triple A is obviously like, oh, it's a higher level, it's got to be higher. But at that point in time, that's where a lot of like rehab starts for there's a lot of former big leaguers or people who have just been in the minor leagues for like 10, 15 plus years. So double A, I feel like, is where you truly make a name for yourself. That's also where you're truly on your own. I know you and me were talking about that earlier. They're really on their own because they're still a collegiate star when they're in college, and they still get like their name and their brand a little bit. But once they're in double A, they're kind of on their own. They don't really, as we know, minor league players don't really make a living that well. Like, it's very unfortunate how little they get paid for how much they have to put into the game. But I do believe in Fullerton's star. I mean, we mentioned Justin Turner, and even Michael Lorenzen was a name we didn't throw in there, and Tanner Beebe, who's currently thriving with the Guardians right now. So hopefully we wish them nothing but the best. And now moving on to our own soccer team, of course, we were talking earlier about their recent success. They're currently 3-3-3 on the year with those 3 ties. They won 3 of their last 6. And currently with their only 2 road wins of the year came against what was number 6 UCLA, and then just recently number 15 University of San Diego. Really, it's really just been great to see after the really tough start when they went 0-3. Really, what is this team in your mind? What do they need to continue doing to keep their success going?
I feel like what they're doing now is spectacular. They're buying into George Kuntz. They're buying into his vision, and it took a while. You know, I remember in 2022 when we're struggling, but now there's 2 years since then, and we're really challenging these big teams. You have Brandon Limes, he just did a clean sheet this last game against San Diego, ranked team. He couldn't keep a clean sheet, and that's one thing that I think can prevent us from going. But our defense is playing spectacular. And when you have Eric Serrano, who was the midfielder of the year for the Big West Conference last year, you bring that mentality now. Now you're going to grow, and these leaders in this team is just spectacular to see on the pitch. And I can't wait to see the attacking trio and just how they just buy into the system. And it's lovely to see.
I completely agree. The offensive capability is known in there with, you mentioned midfielder of the year, and even Ordonez, who was the Big West Offensive Player of the Year. But obviously their defense is, I believe, the biggest question heading into this season. Now, they started off pretty slow in allowing a lot of goals. I know Brandon Limes had a few games where he was allowed multiple goals. But in this case, this past week with the scoreless game, that's huge. And especially with their last non-conference game today, it's definitely going to be huge to see how they do heading into Big West play. And hopefully they can carry that recent momentum.
Yep. We wish them nothing but the best as they head into conference play. All right, Titans, that is all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Colin Costigan.
Thank you. I'm Sergio Gonzalez.
And I'm Adam Garcia. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter if you already have it, at CSUF Titan Sports, to keep updated on all things sports.